Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Daily Creative. This is that show where I answer the questions you have about your journey toward becoming an aspiring or even a professional creative. Today, sitting in for Finn, say that 5 times. Sitting in for Finn is Casey. Casey's got the questions. I know we're gonna hear from Max, is that right first? Bring it on, Max. Let's go.
Hey Chase, Max Schultz here, big fan. I had the chance to meet you briefly at the Tim Ferriss launch event, or book launch event at CreativeLive in San Francisco.
Cool.
Love what you do and keep it up. My question for you is, how do you choose projects to commit to? And once you've committed, how do you stay committed and focused as new opportunities present themselves?
Got it.
Thanks, Chase.
Thank you. All right, so sounds like maybe this is a question that comes from ADD, or more importantly, it's a question about you don't know what you stand for. You don't have a personal, this is, I'm reading into this admittedly because I just know you for like, what was that, 11 seconds? I'm reading into it that you are busy looking at everybody else's stuff. That's why things are interesting. And it's good to be interested, because that's what makes someone interesting, is to be interested in something. So, but this is the challenge that I'm going to assign to you, okay? What do you care about? What is it? Because if you're just walking around waiting for ideas, you literally could do a million things. So it's almost an unanswerable question. But at the core of this is, what do you care about? And you have to actually, it's not really if you decide to care about something, that means you don't care about something else. But what if you, like, this is fantasy time. Like literally, do you even know what you're doing in, like, are you a designer? Are you an entrepreneur? Do you know, is it about what business to build? I have very little context, but I can hear it in your voice that you're busy looking around at everything else. It's like, oh, Gary over there, he's doing a good job as a photographer. Maybe I should do that. Or maybe I could start a car wash business. Or like, you have given me very little, but I can hear from your voice that you have to look in here. The answers aren't out there, because I've said this before, even on this show, I think I've said it, that when shit gets hard, you have to decide to work on things that you love. Because when shit gets hard, and it will, in every industry and in any project that you take on, you have to love it so much that you're willing to push through the hard, shitty parts. And those parts are in every project. So first, decide, what do you stand for? If you could make up anything that you do, what is it that you care about? What is it, a change that you want to see in the world, and a change that you'd want to see or feel in yourself? That's how you're going to get on the path. Now, this is the king piece in this puzzle, which is, it's okay to move, and once you're on this path and you can change slightly. It's not, you can never just run the perfect straight line. It doesn't happen. There's things that are gonna come up. You're gonna have to make adjustments, but at least you're committed to something. What is it that you can put all of your time and energy in? That is a question that only you can answer. That is a question that only you can answer. So, I do feel like, I made a note here actually. Let's say you do find that thing, because this is ultimately, you're gonna figure it out. You're gonna start doing something, because something is better than nothing. Do you have friends in this thing, in this endeavor, business partners, or someone you're collaborating with? If you're a photographer and you're looking for a model, like, what does the model want to get out of it? Do you have someone to help keep you is that right? Yeah, help keep you accountable. That is, if you're a dreamy creative and you're looking around, which is the vision that I have in myself right now of you, is that you're not sure, but commit to something. And do you have a partner in crime? It's sort of like if you're going to decide to, you're going to lose 10 pounds, you're going to gain 10 pounds of lean muscle mass. Do you go to the gym? Who is your gym partner in this thing? That is one thing that will help keep you on track. And another one is, you have to remember, execution is literally everything, because a bunch of ideas up here with no action and actions that don't create progress are basically useless. Now, in doing something, what you often do is find out that you don't love it. So you can go out there and just try a bunch of things. If you're paralyzed, it's not like you have to sit in your room and figure it all out in 2 or 3 years. You get this perfect thing, and then you start doing stuff. That's not how it works. You learn to do stuff by doing stuff. You learn what you like by trying it. So I would say if you're totally lost, and I'm trying to, again, impart a lot of what I'm picturing you sitting in your room right now going like this, do a lot of different stuff. Experiment, play. Playing is a really important part. But when you figure something out, don't be afraid to commit, because commitment is required and execution is everything. If once you decide what you want to do, you still don't do anything, I can't help you. That's the truth. And then, no, there's no like grumpy face. This is only happy face. So I know it's really ambiguous. I wish I had a better, tighter answer for you, but you gotta just do stuff, man. Like taking action. That is what you'll figure out if you love it or you hate it. Just don't sit there and be paralyzed. I'm paralyzed a little bit with this answer because I know I've been in your position, so I don't want you to feel like I'm not deriding you for this, but it is a thing. So do something instead of nothing. It's always better. Cool. That was Max. Thank you, Max. Is that right, Max? Yep. Did Max have a handle? Did he tell us about that? Maybe we'll put that on his lower third. Let's get on to our next caller.
Good evening, Chase. This is Joel Wright, Instagram tag of @WRIJ93. And my question is, we all know that story is important in both photo and video. What is the best way to go about collecting other people's stories? That is it.
All right.
Good luck.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you and goodbye.
Good luck. I'll accept your luck. I'll take everything I can get. In short, the question is, how do I tell stories? And first of all, there are a couple ways to do it. You can be a documentarian or you can be a storyteller. And let's just come at this question for both. For example, if there is sometimes you're hired as a creative to create the story. You create the narrative about a product. You're asked to create the arc of a movie or a video. That's in your mind. So when you think of things in that world, it's about creating the protagonist, it's very much the hero's journey. That's one of the ways that I like to think about writing a story. Like what are the challenges? Define the character. What are the challenges? Have you, risen up and then fallen down and risen up and overcome some challenges? And then if you're not familiar with the Joseph Campbell stuff, you should really look into it. That's the hero's journey. And then the other side of that same coin is documenting. And documenting, whether you think it or not, you're still imparting your vision, because you're the one who's behind the camera or behind the pen, and you're deciding to make there's always editorialization of what words you're deciding to use. That's an editorialization. That's you imparting your opinion on the story. But in a documentary world, you're letting the person's life unfold, whether you're documenting them in front of a camera or you're writing. These are just two examples that I've latched onto. I don't know why here. But storytelling has so many classic parts. It's sort of like a song. There are pieces to a song, or it's like a novel. There's a beginning, middle, and an end. It's not like you have to approach everything with no context. So I would encourage you, actually, in case you're good at this, there's a storytelling class, Alex Bloomberg. Okay, Alex Bloomberg from This American Life, amazing storyteller, and he did a class on CreativeLive around, it was a podcasting class? No, it was just, I think it was using storytelling. So, yeah, so he's one of the top podcasters. You've heard of Serial, This American Life, insanely talented cat, and a really good guy, really good human. So he did a class on storytelling at CreativeLive, and there's another storytelling class with the two women, maybe in the YouTube description, there's another storytelling class. What I'm getting at here is there are classic elements to story. And what I recommend is understanding what story is in the classic sense before, knowing what the rules are before you start breaking them. So think about those things when you're either you're creating a story from scratch by being, a client's asking you, or whether you're documenting someone. I think there's the belief that if you document someone, that is the story. But just remember that for every bit that you cut and paste and include and don't include, you are really shaping the narrative. It's sort of like statistics. You can get statistics to say anything you want. I would consider just working on the basics. And it's important, I believe, to have a point of view. That's the thing that as an artist you are asked to do, whether that's explicit or implicit. Why someone would hire you, let's just say we'll go to photographer, because if it's not just, if you're being hired just because you have a camera and a finger, that's the least awesome reason to be hired. More awesome is because you see the world in a way that would be really, your past work indicates that you see the story, the world in a way that would be helpful for this story. Say someone wants to hire you. But having an opinion, this idea that you don't have an opinion and you're just documenting, is fake. So therefore, if you do have an opinion, what is an opinion that you can have? What is a lens that this goes back to something I've said 1,000 times. What is a thing, a piece of you that you could layer into this story, even though it's about somebody else, whether it's lensing or the words that you choose or the arc that you choose to extrapolate from this person's life. Say you're following them around for 6 months to make a documentary. What is the lens that you can put? And sometimes the lens that you can put is helping people understand a subtle character by putting a lot of they have this particular habit. And if you can highlight that in your, say, documentary film, the viewer can, through your expose, through your positioning of pieces of creative back to back, then they'll say, oh my gosh, this person, Sally, always makes the same mistake. She always gets in too deep and she makes too many bad choices and then she has to start over again, or whatever the narrative is. But this idea that you don't put your point of view into your work is the thing that I see people mess up the most. So have a point of view, take those classes or research those cats, read Joseph Campbell, and get back to me. Share with me a story after you're done doing what I prescribed right here. Send me a link. I would like to follow back up with you, and you can tell me a story or show me a story that you created that you're proud of. And then maybe we'll share that here on the air. I sometimes pull stuff up on the computer or write stuff over there on the chalkboard. So who's that? That was Joel. Thank you. Thanks, Joel, for writing in. That's it. That's 2. All right. If you want your questions answered, if you want your questions answered on this show, here's what you do. You dial +1 if you're calling in from somewhere else, some other country, not the United States of America. Otherwise, 802-962-4357. That last bit does spell help. 802-962-4357. So stay tuned for more, and I'm looking to hear your question. Don't forget to subscribe also. That's it. Thanks, Casey. You did good on your first episode. Signing off.